Hello and welcome to day 5 of the 14-day photography challenge. Now today we're going to be talking about editing again and some basic adjustments that you can make to your images to really improve them. First up is exposure. Now we've already talked about how to get a great exposure in camera. This is really important, but you can also make some minor adjustments afterwards. So when you're editing afterwards, you can use the exposure slider to take your exposure up or down and make some minor adjustments. So to show you how to adjust the exposure, I'm going to be using the Lightroom app today on my iPhone. So if I go to Light, and you see here there's an exposure slider which I'm going to use, and I can adjust the exposure up or down. So when I get good balance between the two, that's very good there. So now I'll show you in the native app on the iPhone. If you go to Edit, and if you press this little fella here, you'll find Exposure, and you can adjust your exposure accordingly. So I also want to talk a little bit about white balance. Now what is white balance? White balance is a way of balancing the temperature of the colours in your image. So what we're trying to do is to make the neutral colours or the whites in the image look white. So if you do find that your image is a little bit too cool or a little bit too warm, or you want to make your image feel more warm or cool, then you can adjust your white balance. So when dealing with the white balance, there should be two options, one for temperature and one for tint. Now temperature just basically means adjusting the blues and the oranges of the image, and the tint is adjusting the greens and the magentas in the image. And now we're going to adjust the white balance. So if we go to colour, and you see here there's a temperature slider and a tint slider. So let's start with temperature. Let's see what this does. So if we drag this over to the warm side, you see that image is getting very warm. And the other side is getting very blue. The blue is bringing out the blues in the sky, which is really nice, a nice dramatic sky here. And moving towards the warmer side, you can see that's warming up the sky nicely, which brings out those colours as well. So for this image, I'm going to warm it up slightly, bring out some of that colour in the sky. Great. And the bottom slider is called tint. Now this might not be very useful for this image, but let's show you what it does anyway. So if you move it down this way, that makes the image more green, and if you move it this way, that'll make the image more pink. So I maybe want to move a little bit over to the pink side, not too much. Great. And then we're going to go across to warmth. And you can see here we can make the image cooler or warmer. And tint is just to the right here. So today's challenge is warm. I want you to be using your new white balance skills to try and adjust your image to really bring out the warmth of the image that you've taken. So it could be warm as in the colour. Think of the top of the rainbow here. Reds, oranges, yellows, all those kind of colours. You could also be taking an image of something that makes you feel warm, like a fire or a big cozy jumper. And if you're lucky, you could also try taking a picture of the sunset, or if you're up really early, you could take a picture of a sunrise. See you tomorrow.